because in Fallout Tactics, they're in the Midwest. It becomes complicated because in that area of the Midwest, they don't use bottle caps, but what they do use is soda pop tabs, the tops of a soda can. It's like bottle caps, but it's this is what you get when you get a game made by not the guys who make Fallout, the guys who make the knockoff Fallout game.
This is we have Fallout at home.
Fallout from Temu.
Just a reminder, this is a spoiler-heavy podcast. Different series that require a spoiler warning will be in the description. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Gaming Theater Podcast. Today's episode is we're going to talk about something that's a little more esoteric than we normally do, but surprisingly still related for storylines, and I'll explain more about that when we get there. But today's episode is going to be all about unique, non-cash, and credit currency in storytelling. Now, to explain a bit more about this and to talk about that, I've got a couple of people who are guests today who are going to help me out with this subject. And over to my right is going to be...
Hi, my name is DandDaine. I am an award-winning dungeon master, a all-around big nerd, charity himbo, and I stream and do other stuff on the internet. You've probably heard my voice before. If you've listened to any of GTP, if you're new here, welcome.
All right. And over to their right is going to be...
Hi, this is Zombiehand. I also go by Liz. I do a lot of work for GTP. I also do a lot of art for GTP. And you have definitely heard me before.
Bold claim, but I like it.
Mm-hmm. It works.
What was it?
I said bold claim, but I like it.
Unless this is your first episode.
That's what I mean, right?
Immediately gone through all of the episodes and not the ones I'm on.
There's probably one person who's done that.
Just accidentally.
And over to their right is going to be...
Hi, I'm WG Ashwood of Ashwood Audio on Twitch and TikTok. I'm your fancy-focused charity streamer, and I have wares if you have something other than coin.
Nice.
I have a squirrel bite that I will trade you.
I got this old button.
Ooh,
I have a full-grown cat.
Leo and Liz's are better.
I got a full-grown cat here, full-grown cat, button, cat,
not a kitten.
Button cat.
Cat, very fresh.
Cat.
All right, and over to their right.
Hi, my name is Ashley, or Ash. Some people call me Ryan Gosling because he's literally me. I am the co-host of Collateral Cinema movie podcast and the founder of Collateral Gaming video game podcast. Happy to be here with you guys.
I gotta say, I love your work, Mr. Gosling. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all.
To hear more about that, real quick, we're going to take a quick trip over to the Magical Merch booth.
Let's do it.
So here we are over at the Magical Merch booth, and to tell us a little bit more of their podcast, why don't you explain a little bit more about the gaming podcast for you, Ashley?
Hi. So, yes, Collateral Gaming Video Game Podcast is a spin-off of Collateral Cinema, which I joined on midway through the first season. My co-host, Bo, who's my co-host on both podcasts, I believe was on this show before. And I was like, man, I really missed out being on this as, kind of the guy behind Collateral Gaming. But we review good games, bad games, and every video game in between. And we cover new releases, we cover games from our childhood, and what's something kind of unique about our show, a lot of other shows are more topical based or maybe just focus on like retro games, but we kind of cover everything, and we're kind of like Collateral Cinema format where we do pretty much like a game per episode, and we kind of just do a full analysis and review of that game. So that's what we've got going. We just wrapped up season 7, and we are jumping into season 8 this month. So, very excited.
Oh, that sounds like a fun time.
Congratulations on the longevity.
Thanks. Yeah, actually, on our sister podcast, Collateral Cinema, we just hit 100 episodes. So, that one's been going on even longer. Yeah.
Once you hit that big 100, you're like, what? How did I get here?
Yeah. For real.
Now, has imposter syndrome set in yet?
Oh, no. Because the way I feel about it, podcasting is kind of just like talking to your friends, really. So it's nice when I find that people are actually listening to us, but, I just kind of record it and put it out there.
Couldn't agree more.
Best that you can do.
Mm-hmm. If you like it, check it out. If you don't,
Yeah.
explore it. It's amazing.
And just to give you guys a little bit of information, a little bit more about our vibe, we are 420 friendly, so that's kind of the vibe we go for.
Nice.
Nice. All right. And I'll have links to the episode, to the channels to let everybody, other our guests know how to get to you. That being said, let's get back to the show.
Oh
So on today's episode, what we're talking about is unique non-cash and currency and storytelling. So first off, we're kind of have to do a brief a brief explanation on how currency works. If you don't know, currency technically is bartering with an extra step. That's about it. So let's say I've got shirts, Dane's got corn. I want corn. Here, Dane, I give you this shirt for that corn. All right? And then Dane takes the corn and he gives that to me, and it's great. As far as corn goes, I think I could do it. But if I have needing to, let's say it's now winter, I can't get Dane's corn because it's out of season on it. There's no corn to have.
You missed out.
If only I could stock up, but I could stock up in the fall. However, all I got is these shirts, and Dane's already got too many shirts. So how could I get Dane's corn even though I have only shirts? Well, this is where currency comes in. Currency is literally just a third thing that you trade for that both parties agree has value to it. In general, most currencies have to follow 3 big rules. They have to, have value. Everyone has to believe that, yeah, we believe in this value of this object, whatever it is. And the second part of that is that there has to be, for the most part, durable. It has to be something that can last a while. In case you have old currency, you can use that later. And the last one is that it has to be difficult to obtain or difficult to reproduce. And that's an important part of that because that is what controls the economy's value for it. And we're going into other things because there's things like inflation, hyperinflation, the opposite of inflation, which I forget what that is. That's when it's overvalued.
Deflation.
Is that deflation?
I don't know.
There's a word for it because it's happened before repeatedly. Where
Recession?
No, that's not it. I'll see if I can find it later. But because it's a thing where it's the scarcity of it is so much that the value is now way too much to even have the basic thing for that one. I think scarcity boom or something to that extent. Something with scarcity, but it's a thing if you have that. So, if you want to get the historical context, how we have money now is technically a new thing. We trade money in like with cash dollars, but also with credit cards and credit and things for it. So, the short end of this is all of the money that we know now, how we use funds, only really exists since about the 1960s. That's the trick to that whole thing. It takes thousands of years to get to currency where we're at now, and treating it with ones and zeros, having dollars and having cash on the stock market, so it builds its own value for that one, and has different exchange rates. There's a whole lot to it. Explore paper money. It's really weird, but it is a fun subject if you get into that one for it. The amazing part is like part of it has to deal with Charles de Gaulle. If you want to know who Charles de Gaulle is, one of the things he does is he makes one big move and it really works weird things for it. Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, this is where we have general currency and we use it for credit. Now, why do we bring this up in storytelling? So to do that, kind of have to explore what happens in currency in general. So if currency that we think of in most stories and storytelling, like fantasies, especially like TTRPGs, the quick go-to is gold coins. Everyone has gold coins. Mm-hmm. But it's really just a fun thing because a gold coin is just, here's a coin of gold, and you have gold. And it fits all these criteria because the only way to make a gold coin is to be able to press it, which means you also have to have gold to do that in the first place. Or you can also have it exchanged for different things. But gold is still a material value. So what if I just need gold for something like I need to build it into a ring? So you can just use it. And it fits the criteria. So what if I had gold that has a little cool little gemstone in it, so it has magical powers, and now all these golds are cursed? Well, now you have fun currency. You have currency with a little bit of extra pizzazz and spice. Now, we actually do this in the real world, which is kind of interesting. In a lot of prison places, cigarettes used to be currency, but people kept smoking them that way. So ramen noodles is now the currency. Just packets of ramen and ramen noodles. And if you have a packet of ramen noodles, they can last forever, which is why they use
do.
Another fun example I found is that in the 17th century in the French islands, they couldn't use regular currency, so what they had was playing cards as currency, which, depending on how much you spend on Magic the Gathering, playing cards could still be currency in the right place.
Any TCG, really. Also,
Actually, there's a game on the list that uses playing cards as or trading cards as a currency.
how dare you attack me like this, Leo? Just first of all,
Oh,
I didn't ask for this.
but we do other things for it, like the thing with gold. Like until gold was a big thing for Europeans until they did the colonization thing, and there was a point where gold got started losing entire scarcity and destroyed the Spanish economy. They just had too much gold, and now the cost of things were just ridiculously high because of that. There's also, earlier in the colonies, alcohol was used as a trading source because it was difficult to brew without. This has to get into metallurgy. Until you get about the 1900s, metal is actually really tough to get your hands on that's turned into pipes. So because of that, alcohol ended up becoming currency. So this is where we get these crazy kind of stories of different currencies. We, as a species, as humans, do weird things with currencies all the time.
Well, we do see it in a number of other places too, right? There's definitely a pipeline between some form of good or service then being translated into some sort of precious or semi-precious material, and then inevitably, right, we get a paper currency out of it eventually, right? So in Japan, the Tokugawa shogunate primarily used koku of rice, which is a Chinese measurement of a Japanese system, which is its own thing. The Japanese love to borrow from their brothers, whether forcefully or not. It's a whole mess. But they took this Chinese system of measurement for rice. They adapted it to their own needs. And each shogunate, each daimyo had a koku of rice quota where you would keep enough for yourself, but you would also send some into the capital. So you'd pay your taxes, essentially, out of rice as well. Rice was the currency, by and large, of Japan for quite a while. And there were other currencies too, right? Some coin currencies and that sort of thing. But I mean, you eat your currency, right? It's wild to me.
There's a couple spots I know at some point in time, and I think there's a trading company in Italy. They trade in cheese. Only cheese.
And you see this, these like food-based, alcohol-based, whatever. I mean, goods-based monetary systems in fiction as well, right? So the Koku example I gave is seen in Seven Samurai, Akira Kurosawa's film. We've talked about it a few times. It's in Samurai 7, the anime adaptation, where this sick mech has this like grappling arm that picks up a bunch of barrels of rice and carries it away. It's a really like cool scene for what it is if you know. But we do see like in media, a lot of these systems are translated, right? Black Flag, I know, does use for Assassin's Creed. There is sort of a barter system in places. You do use money a lot of the time, but there are some quests in which you have to trade things where money doesn't work for you.
And this is the take of this episode. It has to be a unique currency that fits their world for it, but it also has to play into that world. It has to be part of the storyline. This is why we have this, for whatever reason or another. The weirdest one I bumped into, and it surprisingly took a bit to track down, is in Star Trek. So if you've got anybody who's watched Star Trek, they don't really talk about money too much until they deal with the Ferengi. But the Ferengi, as their society is still wants to have currency. What they need, that's their show of their power, their wealth is currency. Their entire culture and doctrine is encouraged. Like a bit weird offshoot. It's funny as a joke, but it's actually an important thing. When the Ferengi did first contact with the Federation, the first thing that they wanted, one of the things that they wanted to check out was the New York Stock Exchange, because they love the idea of the stocks. But the Ferengi also trade all the time. So the problem is, and this is important in Star Trek especially, you have replicators which make things out of energy. That's what they do. If you ever watch, it becomes a big problem in Voyager. The first couple of seasons is them running away because they realize they're in when they're the area of the space that they're in. Nobody has the technology that Voyager is, but to be able to make something out of almost nothing, yeah, people raid the Voyager ship all the time trying to get their hands on the replicator. But to the point of the Ferengi, there's a thing that they have, which is called gold press. I hope I'm saying this right. Gold press latinum. And gold press latinum is a currency that they use to measure how much their value of wealth is, because it's the only material that they know of that cannot be replicated and it cannot be transported. You have to have gold press latinum, so you have to have that value. And it's weird because it's a liquid. That's the part that always confuses me.
A liquid currency. That's cool.
It's a liquid currency. Unlike, booze, which it can also be a liquid currency if you're in the right place. But yeah, that was one of the fun ones I have. I think the one that got me into this topic was doing research on the Fallout series. So in Fallout specifically, they use bottle caps. If you haven't, most people just accept bottle caps as a thing, but they actually have throughout their games explained the origins and what the bottle caps are. So one of the earliest things that got traded around, bottles of water. And so they would fill old Nuka-Cola bottles with water and just capped it again with the bottle cap, with whatever bottle cap that they had. And so
liquid currency.
It's another liquid currency, yeah. And what you would do is that you would give this many bottle caps to fill up that much water. So, and this is the exchange rate is 1 cap for 1 bottle of water. By the way, it's 1 bottle of water, not 1 bottle of clean water. I need to stress this. It's just the water.
Oh.
You get the hand-me-downs. You get the whatever came out of this.
Rad water.
Yeah, the rad water. I gotta say that the bottle caps is actually kind of ingenious, though. Like, what do you think about it? Like, at first when I came across the bottle caps in Fallout, I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool to use as a currency. But when actually you go into, like, the origins, you're like, oh, okay, no, that actually makes sense.
And they actually explain it because, like, you can, if you have a bottle cap, if you can try it at home, you can technically recap a bottle, but you can't really reseal it properly again. And you can't really, and this is the post-apocalyptic world, no one's making more bottle caps.
Yeah.
And you need a very special machine to make that cap part of the bottle cap.
And the caps are, like, very specific, so, like, they're hard to fake, right?
Yeah. It's hard to fake, it's hard to make, because you can't just... You have to have a bottle capping machine specifically to cap that. And who knows where the Nuka-Cola factories are. Or any of the knockoffs like the Sarsaparilla place.
Right.
And there's a mission in New Vegas where you have to actually destroy one of these places because it's causing inflation in the area. But if you want another funnier one, if you played Fallout 2, there is a guy who wants you to go find a treasure that he buried years and years ago. And he's a ghoul that needs this treasure. So you do a bunch of side quests for him. You finally find the treasure that you find the treasure, but you have to get this specific treasure hunter to help you out with that, who's this really, really tiny person, because he has to fit in this hole inside this well that never moved to go get these things. And he comes back up and he gives you hundreds of thousands of bottle caps.
Oh, wow.
It would be great in every game but Fallout 2. Because Fallout 2, they changed their currency to gold mines started popping up, so they switched on the West Coast their currencies from caps to gold coins.
Ah, beans.
So you watch as a monologue of your character going, I did all this for 100,000 caps worth nothing. They are useless to me. They're just a pile of caps. And then he gets into a monologue. Meanwhile, the treasure hunters, he kind of accidentally forget about the treasure hunter, and he's trapped inside the well. And you're like, well, this was a fun time. Later, guys. I don't think I have anything else to do. If you go back to the well, it's hilarious because you're like, I'm pretty certain I did everything I need to in this town. I got it all checked out. It also becomes a different thing if you play Brotherhood of... Not Brotherhood of Steel. That game sucks. Fallout Tactics. Because in Fallout Tactics, they're in the Midwest. It becomes complicated because in that area of the Midwest, they don't use bottle caps. But what they do use is soda pop tabs. The tops of a soda can. It's like bottle caps, but it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what you get when you get a game made by not the guys who make Fallout, the guys who make the knockoff Fallout game.
This is We Have Fallout at Home.
Fallout from Temu.
It's a decent tactical game, but it is not a great Fallout game but that I digress. It's actually a pretty fun game, but it's got its own issues. But the thing with that is Brotherhood, since you are a member of the Brotherhood of Steel, they use Brotherhood scripts. You can't trade Brotherhood scripts into ring pulls, and you can't do it the other way around. You actually have to go in reverse. You have to buy a bunch of stuff from random people, take it to whichever side that you're needing to trade it to, and trade it with them to get the cash that you need for this.
Well, that's the classic story of like, oh, I need 20 shells to bring to the person on the beach so that they can give me a pearl necklace so that I can go get a music box so that I can trade that music box for the old photograph, and that old photograph will finally get me access to the treasure.
The classic Zelda fetch quest routine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be honest. In Link's Awakening, not Link's Awakening. It's the first of the Game Boy ones. Like, I can't remember which one it is. But
Link to the Past?
No, that's no, it is Link's Awakening. Links to the Past is the SNES.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because you trade, I think, something that was like the shovel, which lets you get like all this gold and free stuff in the ground, but you trade it for a fishing rod so you can play the fishing mini game that I'm not very good at. And I feel like, and most of that fishing mini game is to get either that one heart or the one of the half of hearts that happens to be in the water, or more fish that you can trade to get rupees, which at this point I could have used the shovel and gotten twice as much.
Yeah. Not a huge fan of the fishing mini games and Zelda games. It's interesting that you brought up Zelda though, because when I was thinking about video games and currencies, of course Zelda's my favorite series, so that came to mind. But I was like, it's not really going to be interesting to talk about because I mean they just use rupees. There's not really anything noteworthy about them. There's not really anything interesting to talk about. They pop up everywhere. You could cut grass and they just come out. Mm-hmm. But then I was thinking about it. There's one Zelda game that doesn't use rupees. And that is Four Swords Adventures uses Force Gems. They also appear in Spirit Tracks, but serve a different purpose. But Force Gems are the physical manifestations of the Force, the sacred power that dwells in every living being. Which sounds like it came out of Star Wars.
Listen, I wasn't going to say it, but...
But... I thought it's interesting how that one game has a different currency system, and it's the manifestation of like living essence.
I think for safety's sake, I want to go back to rupees. I think I'm not responsible enough for it.
Right?
I don't want to tell Grandpa I traded his Force Soul away to get my new TTRPG book.
Listen, Grandpa's already 1 foot in the grave, okay?
You think about currency in games like Nintendo games, like rupees, coins in Mario, and you're like, well, they're kind of ubiquitous. There's not really interesting. But then I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, yeah, Super Mario Odyssey is one of the only video games I know of that actually has regional currency. Like regional coins that only apply to that one area. I think they're mainly just used for cosmetics. Mm-hmm. But I thought that was interesting. That's the only game. And they have a limited supply of them. There's only a certain number of them in the world. They're not like regular coins that reproduce infinitely.
One of those things that you can do is just go around and there's like a counter that says how many coins are left in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the same team that did Mario Odyssey also did Donkey Kong Bonanza, and they did a similar approach with the fossil system. Now, I thought this was really interesting. All the different layers in the game each use different fossils as currency. that are unique to that layer. And again, they're mainly just used for cosmetics, but there are a finite amount of them in the world. They're in specific places. They can't be reproduced. I mean, they're fossilized living things, right?
Whoa. So
Yeah.
I want to back up really quick, and this could be an episode all in itself. But in Mario Odyssey, since we know there are a finite number of coins that Mario can collect, do you think that it's a finite number that Mario can collect, or do you think he runs the economy by the time he leaves?
Not the way I catch coins. That runs the economy. Are you talking about in Odyssey specifically, like in general?
Odyssey specifically, because it is a regional currency. It changes in every place he goes to. So if he finds all of whatever it is in New Donk City, is he now the lord of their currency in New Donk City? Like, are they all like, please, Mr. Mario, can you lower the what $1 is so that I can afford food for my kid?
Oh man, I love video games where you could just absolutely wreck the economy, like Fable, especially the first one.
Are you kidding me? I heard about the mass exodus wrecking the economy of Final Fantasy XI. That was a crazy time. Our friend Rob was part of that when he was playing that. So what happens is people would play Final Fantasy XI, but some of them were on there just to wait out because World of Warcraft was coming down the pipe a couple of months later. But once World of Warcraft came in, if a bunch of their friends moved on to World of Warcraft, well, I'm going to play with some of my friends, so they moved on. And what a lot of people would do, and this is how I know about this, is they would dump their money onto some random player and then leave.
Oh my god.
So if the character's not coming back, that player now has thousands and thousands and thousands of bucks. Like, actually designing an MMO economy is something you got to get right.
It really would
right
be like
Yeah.
if the top 1% was spirited away for whatever reason, and all of us were just left to pick up their billions of dollars and stuff, and we're like, oh no, now the wealth has been just distributed to a ton of people and not just 12.
But it's the value. So here's one of the things. I do know the kind of real world solution to what happens when Mario does that. So
Okay.
most economies will have some kind of reserve that will either A, rebalance that amount. Think of it as a patch fix system for most. I was explaining to it as there's extra history does an amazing job on doing an episode on paper money. If I can, I'll leave the link on the episode. But one of the things that they talk about is what with different countries will all have different like federal reserves, and that's one of the things they have to manage and keep an eye on to try to prevent that. So now, in an extreme case, since Mario, in our scenario, Mario has everybody's money, no one else's. There's a chance that the entirety of the system of the civilization will switch economies, because that's what we do a lot of the time.
Oh, so if Mario becomes the supreme overlord of New Donk City because he has all the money, then they're going to be like, well, now bananas are our currency, and Donkey Kong is like, fuck yes.
I mean,
Well, the Banandian gems in Donkey Kong also kind of work as a currency because, I mean, well, at least an in-game currency because you can use them to get skills. But it seems like they actually have an intrinsic value across, from layer to layer because everybody's coming after them. That game also has these tokens that can be traded for Banandium gems, so there's a whole exchange going on. So,
Banandium.
yeah, Banandium gems, which apparently you can eat, another currency you can eat, and they taste like bananas, but they're gems. I don't know.
Do they satiate hunger so you could use them if you're stranded on an island as a food source?
They're Donkey Kong's basic objective in the game. He just wants to get the Banandium gems.
yeah, the Banandiums.
For him.
I thought it was interesting what you said about Mario Odyssey. It's like, does he monopolize that money, or is it just like an allocated amount toward him, like in Death Stranding?
Yeah,
you got
like
only that much.
like oh god, Pauline was like, oh hey, it's my old buddy Mario. All right, leave him some coins. We'll give him 100. or whatever. I don't remember. I do love Death Stranding though.
Death Stranding was an interesting one. I just thought about it while we were talking, and I was like, well, what about, does Death Stranding have a currency? And I was like, well, the closest thing are the chiral crystals, and I guess like actual goods.
Yeah, they tend to be a lot more of like a proper-ish barter system because the chiral crystals,
Mhm.
but even then it's like the recyclable resources that you know, and that is only as good as, you know, what you can use it for. So having recyclable resources and chiral crystals in just like a small dinky little, you know, little shelter where they can only fabricate 3 things is not as good as having a massive distribution center where I
Yeah.
can fabricate a car. And so even that, it's like, you know, I think that's where
Mhm.
you find, like, in especially in the first game, there's that girl who wants to get back to her boyfriend who her mother had broken them up before, like,
Mhm.
or when things got really bad, and you're you help her get back to him, and she pays you in intel, but you paid her, it was like a service, you know, she gives you intel, and you get to have, like, a cute little life update every so often, except they do end up breaking up, or he proposes to her, and she gets irritated of him really quickly, and it's you actually get all of this through email, but then they work it out. So you kind of get like a little soap opera as well. But like people, you know, when you find Conan O'Brien's little shelter thing, he gives you an otter hat because he has a cosplay girlfriend, and the otter hat helps you swim better so that you don't lose your shit in rivers as often. And you know, so it's like it really is like a sense of like you said, the chiralium crystals, and then recyclable things like the various materials that you can recycle, but you also have things like intel and things you can fabricate and cute little emails you get from people, and I don't know, add something to my playlist so I'm not playing the same 4 churches songs over and over and over, or like, well,
Oh, that's true. Because a lot of the people that you do deliveries for, like the rewards you get, are just like artwork or songs or
yeah, like
or
more.
weapons and
And
things, blueprints that you can actually use and fabricate
yeah, and so it really
designs.
comes down to like what can each place do for me, and you know there's going to be some places that can't do as much, but that you're like, okay, I still am just I still personally will be like, I'm going to get my porter rating up to 5 with you. Like, I don't care that you're out in the middle of nowhere or I have to climb this stupid ass cliff to get to you. I'm gonna do it because I want to have the 5-star rating. But that's a gamer currency. That's not an in-game currency.
That's the social
Yeah,
Yeah.
currency.
see?
When I get to see
That's
my
actually
5-star rating or my rating go up through the 5 stars, like that's for me. That's not
Mhm.
for Sam. That's for me. But
But I was thinking about it. I was like, are porters actually compensated for their services? And I'm like, well, the rewards that you get from the people, that's all I can think of. And I think it also ties back into like, here's another universe where you can fabricate things. So how do you how do you make a currency? Well, designs,
yeah.
blueprints for things that you can fabricate,
Definitely don't think porters
and
make enough money for what they do, but
definitely
yeah,
not.
the scene of Sam tearing out his toenail in the shower or whatever, nope, nope, will never be okay.
So I got like 2 segues on this now because of Zombiehand, and I don't know which way I want to go with this.
You're welcome.
Go left.
I'll go left. Okay, so here's the segue left. This is back to the Mario Odyssey problem for it.
Okay.
Do you know what another game out there that had that exact same problem? BioShock. Again, spoiler heavy podcast for everybody. You got the warning at the beginning, but just in case. So one of the things in BioShock is that that you can bump into is is that you have money and cash that people are using, but you also have Adam. And the thing with that is, Andrew Ryan doesn't control Adam. He controls everything else in the city of Rapture. But there's a dialogue that you get because you can talk to what's her name, the person who discovers Adam.
Fontaine?
Tenenbaum.
Tenenbaum. Well, Tenenbaum was the owner of the orphanage who ended up she let the little girls become little sisters, and then when she realized what they were doing, she was like, "Oh my god, Andrew Ryan, you suck," and now she wants you to save the little sisters. I don't think it was Fontaine, and I don't think it was Sander Cohen. I don't remember who made it.
No, I
Fuck,
think it's Tenenbaum.
it's been years since I played BioShock, and I never finished
Hang-
it.
Oh
I think
my
I played more
God.
of the second one.
Hang on. Who made Adam in BioShock?
No one makes Adam. It's just kind of there. Oh,
You're right. Dr. Bridget Tenenbaum.
because she discovers it from the sea slugs at the bottom of
Yeah.
the ocean that they were down there. But the thing is, she presents it to as a market viability to Andrew Ryan, and in Andrew Ryan's recording, you find out that he's like, you know what, Tenenbaum, everyone else gets to do their own stuff. Why don't you do your stuff? I'm busy trying to figure out how cash works and build a real economy down here. Why don't you just go off? Who cares for that? Here's the thing. You know who does care? Fontaine cares.
Okay.
And Fontaine builds an economy around that.
Fontaine doesn't care, which is why he cares insofar as he doesn't care.
Oh yeah, he doesn't care. There's moral implications, but that's not the part of this one. Because what happens is that because the little sisters are all incubators for Adam.
Yeah, and that's why if you sacrifice the little sisters, you get a ton of Adam, but if you save them, then you just get a little bit of Adam, but you also get the good ending and Tenenbaum's gratitude.
Yep. But the thing is that Andrew Ryan, that's what starts the whole thing, because Andrew Ryan loses a lot of his control because the economy, the area in that place, all of it is either one way or another. Andrew Ryan has his hands on it. He does not have his hands on Adam, and he did not see that being the new currency showing up down in the sea.
Yeah, I could go off about BioShock. That's that one's really interesting because in a sense, like, Andrew Ryan wanted to build the perfect utopia beneath the sea, and so he was like, he wants minimal rules. He wants, like, it was initially just going to be complete chaos, but then he's like, okay, we'll implement a few rules and mostly just so society can function. But it like, he's also extremely proud, and so even though it seems like he's very hands off, you're right, he does have his hands in everything, and he
Mhm.
just doesn't, like, he just won't admit it because he's so proud.
Mhm.
But I think that he would oh god, it has been a minute since I've played the game,
Mhm.
so I can't remember, but I feel like he's the type of person who would either be like, "I definitely endorsed the production and cultivation of Adam," but also being like, "Adam came about without my say so," and, like, it's two sides of a
I mean, he
coin.
does do that. He does do that. That's why he tries to hire one of the doctors did. We make solely parts of your upgrades for when you use Adam. That's how he funded them to. Everyone has Adam, but they have to go to this guy to get the cool like upgrades
Yeah,
for
I don't
themselves, like
I
to
didn't
turn
remember that part. Well, yeah, like,
or turn your hand into
that's like
bugs. And that one's creepy out.
when you, like, it definitely I don't remember how much of Andrew
Hmm.
Ryan like, I don't know how much of his hand was in the continued cultivation of Adam, but I
Hmm.
know, like, one of the best moments, and this is a little tangential, but right in the beginning when you go into it's a doctor's office, but he does, like, um, oh gosh, like, cosmetic surgeries, and there's, like, a
Hmm.
sign that he has that I actually have a pretty cool print of that says, "Everyone can be beautiful with Adam."
Hmm.
And it's just, like, it's so messy. BioShock is great.
Now to take the right turn on the other side of this segue, talking about the porters and how they're not paid enough to do their job. They might have an economy similar to Twisted Metal in the Peacock show. Because what it is, and that you follow our main character John Doe, who in there is a delivery guy. That he's literally called the milkman. But as a milkman, every town agrees to give him ammunition, repairs, and fuel for his vehicle. And in turn, he has to make the deliveries to deliver all their stuff. So what they're supplying it is the ability to keep going with it. But now he never has to worry about being undefended or having to get stuff to try to repair stuff himself, or even basic outside of regular food or something, which he might get as for making all these trips. But that's one of the jobs of a milkman is the cities can still produce things, but you need someone to deliver it to another city to get other stuff.
Come to think of it, that is the way it works in Death Stranding, because like when you go to certain like distro centers and places, like they let you use their private rooms, their resources, and things. So yeah, I guess it would be kind of similar to that. I haven't played Twisted Metal or seen the series yet, but
so this is the series, not the game. The game has no economy. You are just shooting things.
Yeah.
This is important. This is important for me to let you know. They are. If you're like, when do I get to trade my gas for stuff? No, you don't.
It's not like Fallout where there's like this like deep lore that's like in both the games and the show that ties together.
But yeah, so like that's the other segue part. If they're using all the cities produce stuff, the milkman trades it for the goods while protecting it. The problem is now everyone knows a milkman carries stuff, so they're going to keep attacking him over and over and over again.
Fuck.
Nerds. With that, there's a few other ones I want to get some examples, which are weird ones on it. And unless Dane, you or Ashwood have another one on the horizon.
Yeah, I've actually got a couple. There are a few that come up. I think you have listed the blood echoes in Bloodborne. You know, which can be traded out with souls in the Dark Souls series, or runes in Elden Ring. Those are the essence of your ability to level up and to continue your journey and to get stronger. It's the same thing you use to buy goods, craft materials, and trade out for different upgrades to your weapons. So it's
and level up.
And level up. Yeah, it's an all-in-one currency. And it's sort of like the essence of what you are and what you can be, your potential. And you have to trade that out for, do I really need this upgrade to the weapon, or do I really need another level up? Do I need more dexterity or more vigor?
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the Souls games too, because that is such a really interesting currency because it can be used also to invest in yourself. Actually, I was playing Yakuza 0. That's one game that uses a real world currency, and canonically, the characters could use it to like level up somehow. I don't know how that works, but I've always kind of wondered. It's like mechanically, like in universe, like what are they actually doing in the Souls games?
I don't know. Well, I know Actually, I don't know. I know that they have a source because there's documentation for what they do. I know in Blood Echoes, it's actual blood from that's being transported around. Because they use a different kind of blood in order to get healing potions, which is they make a direct distinction, a distinction. But for Souls, I don't know that for the for the rest of the Souls games.
Are they like actual like human souls? You know, and I think the runes. I looked it up, and I think the runes are supposed to be like pieces of the Elden Ring or something.
Well, the runes are pieces of the Elden Ring. That's why you can do that for it.
Yeah.
So they tell you that pretty. It's like a weird something esoteric somewhere else in the game, but no, the runes that you're getting are pieces of that Elden Ring, which is why they do what they do. And people want more of it. It's I don't know about the Souls one though.
Like, are they actually like the souls of the monsters and humans and enemies that you're fighting?
Man, I hope.
In some cases, yes, because you collect the souls of the monsters that you defeat, and you can like harbor those souls and hold on to them, or you can break them in times of crisis to get an immediate boost in souls.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, and the boss souls specifically like grant like abilities or something too, right? Like, I haven't played too far into Dark Souls. I've played more of Elden Ring.
You can mold them into weapons, so you can
Okay.
get that's how you get boss weapons. Is instead of in some cases you can get your strongest weapon in the game by trading out the soul of a warrior or the soul of a specific monster, and that will give you a specific weapon as they'll mold that into it.
Yeah.
If you want a soul of Leo, you'll have a large amount of hair and a surprising addiction to disco. So enjoy that.
God, don't I know it.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with disco.
But yeah, so like Elden Ring is parts of the rings. Bloodborne, it's actually blood, I think. I want to say yes. Surprisingly, Castlevania does not. People are like still trying to figure out why hearts are a thing in that because it doesn't make sense. And then you get to later games when they start becoming Metroidvanias, and they don't actually use the hearts are like for your sub weapons. You don't trade them in for anything, but you have money, like regular cash, but they're stored in candles, I guess. That's the way my brain.
Vampires need to get with the modern economy, so they said, let's use Romanian. I don't know what they use in Romania.
You got too far into this joke, didn't you?
I know. I was like, shit. I'm in too deep. I can't stop. I have to express my ignorance. Romanian currency. The Romanian leu. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it's LEU. All right, good. Saved myself.
I would have taken the other save, which is the Castle in Castlevania moves. That's the thing it does. So it can be just the US dollar.
Yep.
In fact, in one of them, I think most of them they say dollars, but they change that based on your region.
I was going to say there is one game on my list that actually uses real world currency, but in an interesting way, and that's Cyberpunk. Now,
Yeah.
I haven't gotten too far into the lore of this franchise, but as far as I understand it, the Cyberpunk uses, and I didn't realize this at first because they just say entities, but they're referring to euro dollars.
Oh,
And apparently that's officially recognized by like the world. Everybody uses euro dollars.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon. So, history take for like about between like the 50s to or especially in the 50s and the to the 70s. Most world currencies, especially for third world countries, will just take the U.S. dollar because it instead of their own money because it was the most stable of currencies back then.
Yeah.
Well,
It makes sense.
What's interesting about eddies, especially, is that they are transferred digitally, right? So it's not like a paper currency. They have kind of supplanted the need for paper currency, but are still using it in such a way, right? So you do an odd job for somebody, you and your chooms go mess up a gonk, and they pay you 100 eddies or whatever. So for all intents and purposes, it is kind of a paper currency, but it's all.
yeah. That's why me being me modding my game to give myself $9 billion right off the bat is just it's me being a hacker, but in the real world.
What was your net running skill at when you did that, Liz? Just gotta.
Oh, 50. I modded that
cool,
too.
Cool. Sure. Then it makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, just wrecking the global economy.
Yeah, but makes me rich so I don't have to pay for anything. Or so I can pay for everything.
Let's be real. It's not like Arasaka wasn't already doing it.
It's true. I just want to say, if they had given me the option to give money to charities, I'd have donated a ton to charities in game.
Well, let's be real. It's the closest any of us will ever be to being in the 1%.
Yeah.
We could do it in a video game.
With Mass Effect, I will use the Mass Effect save editor every time, so I don't have to. I can just have I can have a ton of money and a ton of resources, so that I don't have to want for anything, and I don't have to mine any more planets. I paid my dues. Don't make me do it anymore.
Hey, nobody can tell you what makes a game fun for you. That's my philosophy.
That's
And
true,
I did
that's
it.
true.
I played 2 and 3 vanilla, and I paid my dues. And now I'm like, you know what? I'll do it once the right way. After that, I'm doing however I want.
Well, most people say you can go through the game once, do it right, and then you could do the mod.
Then
stuff.
you can do that. That's the because you want that feel for it. Although
Mm-hmm.
weirdly, that whole thing about about Cyberpunk just reminded me of something. You guys ever see the movie from the 90s, Demolition Man?
Yeah, with you.
Yeah.
Yes. So like he shows up in the future, and at some point he's like scratching at his hand. He goes, "What's this?" He goes, "Oh, that's a chip. That's where all your money goes to. That's how we ID you. It's inside your hands." He goes, "All right." So Simon Phoenix can't really use anything because he never got chipped. So as long as he doesn't cut anybody's hands off, it's fine. And you can see everybody's like, "Oh no, we never thought of that one." It never came up until now.
Whoops.
Oh man. Oh, speaking of brutality for your weapons, Metro, the Metro series, which I thought this was genius and weird.
This was my example, but okay, Leo, you can take it.
All right, everyone, let Liz have this one.
Metro uses it's a post-apocalyptic hellscape where ammo is your currency, which makes a ton of sense because what in a world like that, what is going to be the best way to protect yourself but with ammo, but also it creates a very interesting like dynamic in that you can't like do I want to use this ammo to protect myself, or do I want to um save it to buy something that I might need? And so then you're creating more scarcity in a way by hoarding it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I haven't never played that game, but that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's specifically it's the 7.62 round, which is common for the AK-47 because the Metro takes place in Russia, and that's where a lot of those weapons are. However, to make that round, you have to make it in a factory. So there's two types of ammo. There's what's called dirty ammo, and then this one, which is actually your money. So you can still have regular ammo, and if you're ever in a situation where like, oh, better put in my spare change clip on there, and you just watch as monsters go down, like, oh no, I need this for later.
Kind of gives a double meaning to life savings.
Yeah. Dane, did you have any other examples right now, or kicking it in your head
No, Liz and Ashwood took mine.
at the same time? Because that's impossible.
Oh no, what was yours?
I was going to bring up bullets. And souls.
Oh.
I can bring up something new.
Yeah, Ashwood's got something.
So at the time of recording, Hollow Knight Silksong has just dropped. We're only a few days into it. And Dane has just removed his headphones because he doesn't want any spoilers. But the money system is a bead system. It's rosary beads because most of the characters you negotiate with throughout the new game are pilgrims, and so they carry rosary beads, and so those sort of tell a story of like what you collect from fallen pilgrims as you migrate around the various areas of the game are these rosary beads.
So they actually kind of have like a significance to them.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I wanted to bring up Hollow Knight, but I've more played the first game. I haven't really gotten into the second one yet. But you took another one of mine because I was going to bring up Hollow Knight too. But yeah, I thought that's cool. I didn't know that about the rosaries. That kind of reminds me of honorary mention, not a video game, but there's an episode of Doctor Who where there's this moon or something they go to, the Rings of Akaten, and they have to trade objects of sentimental value as currency. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But going back to Hollow Knight, I know Hollow Knight 1 actually uses Geo, which, according to the Hollow Knight wiki, is made from fossilized shells of various forms.
Oh, I just thought it was rocks. I didn't realize it was fossilized shells.
Yeah. So Donkey Kong did that too, I guess.
Donkey Kong, you unoriginal bastard.
I don't know if this counts for it. We're out of that one, Dane. We're good. But Tiberium.
Hey, Dane, for what it's worth, I had one example and it was Metro.
Oh, no, I haven't played Silksong yet, so I'm dodging.
No, but before when you said that you were going to bring up bullets, Metro was my one example. So I was like, please, I came here loaded with one.
Liz, it's okay. I was kidding. You don't need to justify it to anybody.
Didn't you have Death Stranding on standby? You went to a spiel
I
on
did
that.
not. I'm going off of what Ashley brought up. I forgot about Death Stranding because I also had Horizon Zero Dawn as a thing, but Leo was like, "Yeah, you're the one that brought up Horizon Zero Dawn." I was like, "I was? Good for me." I thought I had Metro, and that was it.
That's another one that makes sense because it's something that's difficult to obtain. You have to actually destroy beasts to obtain the scrap metal.
Yeah, and they're like circuitry and stuff.
Yeah. Which, have their own intrinsic values based on the materials used, I suppose.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Dane. I cut somebody off to bring up Metro.
No, she cut me off.
Or to apologize for stealing Metro from you.
If it makes it feel better, Dave, you know what else has a weird currency on that one?
Can we stop bringing me into this, please?
All right. So another weird one is Chrono Trigger has one, but only for one spot. You have, when you go back to, I think it's 65 million BC, when you travel back to the past, they don't have a concept of currency. So you have to barter and trade to make things around there, which is interesting because that's you can get some of the best armor for a while by doing that, but it takes a while to get that.
Can I actually this a little bit?
I mean, why would I stop you? But all right.
But less douchey.
We'll see how this goes.
I think if you have to put a qualifier on it, you're already batting behind, Liz. I'm so sorry.
Probably. I'm gonna leave here with a douche meter of +1. So Zeal Palace existed in 65 million BC, and Zeal Palace had a currency.
Yes.
But Zeal Palace was kind of like the anomaly. They were the exception to the rule. So while the most of the world was living with prehistoric barter systems and such, Zeal Palace was existing at the same time with a currency system of their own.
Yeah, but you can't go there until later.
That's true. Zeal Palace has one of the best songs though ever. On the soundtrack. That's all I got.
Does anyone recall a storyline where music was the currency? I feel that's a thing somewhere.
That sounds interesting, but I don't know if I've played a game that did that.
Or even saw a show or something where music was the currency for that one.
No, but that's a good idea. Maybe I'll use that. Maybe I'll write something.
I feel like I can't pinpoint it, but it feels like something Brandon Sanderson would likely have done.
Good old Brandon.
I had just a couple more that I came up with, and I mentioned one of them earlier. Well, I alluded to it, but in Parasite Eve, you can trade trading cards for upgrades.
You can? Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah, I think usually I just use the permits insofar as I've played, but yeah, you can also use trading cards, and this is justified in game because the guy that's doing the upgrades at the police station, Wayne, is a card collector. So.
Right, I remember that.
Oh my gosh! And all us TCG dorks absolutely know that we would do a lot for some cool cards.
Let's see here.
No, that's awesome. I haven't played Parasite Eve in a hot minute, but I'm about to start a replay of it this year, possibly the week between Christmas and New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's perfect.
I didn't remember that. I used the permits. I didn't remember that there was a trading card.
I don't think I've used the trading cards either, and I haven't finished the game. I've played a little ways in. I need to go back and finish it, but
good.
It's a fantastic game, and it desperately needs a remake.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a modern
for it.
Like done maybe kind of like how they did Final Fantasy VII Remake in terms of the combat system, because it kind of is a precursor to that sort of, But speaking of trading card games, the last one I had on my list was and forgive me for bringing up the turf, but this is from the Harry Potter video games. Specifically, the video games, the early ones used Bertie Bott's every flavored beans, and I said speaking of trading cards because I was thinking, but those are actually the chocolate frogs. God, okay, I'm a little high. I'm a little high right now, but I I was a huge Harry Potter fan back in the day, and I remember playing the
Same.
games. And when I was playing Prisoner of Azkaban, which is a great game, there's actually an in-game shop that the Weasley twins operate in one of the misused bathrooms where you could trade birdie bots for items. For whatever reason, like at least the first 4 games used birdie bots as a separate currency from the Wizarding World currency. For some reason, they made that a staple. I think in the PC port of Philosopher's Stone, he actually says the name of every bean as you collect it.
Whoa.
Oh wow.
Bogey!
Do you want some Liz deep lore?
Go for it.
So back when anybody who might have heard the story before, I'm gonna addendum onto this. I broke our NES when I was like 4 years old by putting a bologna and cheese
No.
sandwich in it with mayo and mustard because my brother pissed me off. And I was like 4. I made a sandwich. I put it in the NES, pressed down, and broke our NES. My brother, same brother, tried to blame me for breaking our PS1.
I mean, you got a track record.
Because I don't really have a great record. You're right. So our PS1, I had been playing the first Harry Potter game. And there was a point when I had to go into the Forbidden Forest, and the game would not stop loading and loading and loading and loading. And I was like, this is taking a long ass time. And I like left, came back an hour later, and it was still doing it. And I
Oh,
showed
wow.
my brother, and he was like, well, that's because you broke our PS1. And it turns out it was just old. It was just getting on in years.
Yeah.
But he blamed me, and I got so mad that I would play. We had a demo disc that had the first Tomb Raider demo and Tekken 3 demo. And I used to take my anger out on the Tekken 3 demo and by killing Lara Croft in her mansion every possible way I could. I was mad.
See, my 6-year-old daughter also enjoys killing video game characters off. I don't know
There's
if I
just
should be
something
worried about that.
it.
I'm a little concerned.
She has. I got her on Elden Ring of all things, and she just goes to the starting area, just throws her character off a cliff repeatedly.
I'll show them. Gee.
I thought it was fun that you could drown Lara in her own pool. You could lock her in the freezer. You could make her break her neck by swan diving off of her balcony. That's all I can remember. And then
Oh
yeah,
God,
it was
I don't even.
Eddie.
Sure, Liz, fun. Yeah, that's the word I would use.
I don't even want to know what you do in Sims.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never played Sims. I played SimCity though. But then I don't remember the other character. I always forget who it is. It's a girl character from Tekken 3, and I used to play her, and I used to beat up Eddie. Let me see if I can find it.
I can tell you which one's Eddie, but their other side, no, they've got options.
Xiao Yu, Ling Xiao Yu. Yeah, I used to play her because I like playing as girls, and I would beat up Eddie. There we go. Anyway, there's the deep Liz lore for this episode.
Nice.
All right, back to currencies now that I've derailed again.
If I had a quarter for every time that she derailed this podcast, I have at least 2.
You'd have at least $1.
Yeah. You're just gonna keep doing this. Speaking of,
Sorry.
there was a sci-fi movie that I've always wanted to see, but now I'm hesitant to see it. It's called In Time. I think the concept is weird, but it's starring Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, it is.
You have time instead of currency, so the more time that you, so the more wealthy you are, the more time that you have. Because what it does is that it keeps your lifespan stuck at, I think, 20 to 25. And so, like, you hit the age of 25, you're stuck. And so you, gets kind of weird because I think Amanda Seyfried is in the movie as well. But that's his mom.
Yeah,
Oh.
so basically you're not stuck at 25, just most people like don't move past that. I believe hypothetically you could go younger if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it's it just keeps you paused at that lifespan,
whatever
and
age
that's what
amount of time you have.
But then the catch is that once it hits 0, you're gone.
It also allows you to make a lot of puns about being just in time to things.
Mhm.
Well, I was gonna say, you know what they say, time is money.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. I thought. No, never mind. I'm misremembering. I thought Justin Timberlake's character's name was Just in Time, but I don't think it is.
A little too on the nose.
He does make that joke, though. I do know that happens. He's like, I guess we're just in time. And you're like,
Carmen Sandiego. I had a Choose Your Own Adventure Carmen Sandiego book but it was like, Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego, and there was a character in it named Just in Time.
Yeah, but that's Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, but it's gonna be, if you're gonna have an attempt at a serious movie, don't name your character Just in Time if you want it to be taken seriously.
I mean, it's like naming your character Edward Nigma.
Yeah.
Or Mr. E.
Or Strangers of Paradise, Jack Garland is just naming your character Jack Villain.
I mean, to be fair, though, it makes a lot more sense when you also take into consideration William Sephiroth is a thing, so.
Wait.
Yeah, everyone knows Sephiroth's real name is William, right?
Right.
What?
Billy Sephiroth.
Yeah, old Billy Seph.
Oh, he's right up there with John Doom.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
John Doom is Isabel's best friend.
Yes.
She keeps good company.
They're so cute together.
Speaking of, is there a reason why it's bells in Animal Crossing?
Even weirder, their stock market's turnips.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can actually buy turnips and then sell them at a later date for what you hope is a good price, and you get bells. And I'm sure bells is probably just a way for them to have some weird, like, Animal Crossing is going to be one of the only games where you pay 300 bells for a balloon and 300 bells for a chair. Like, it's the weirdest system. Like, there's times if I'll go into the shop and be like, oh, this is probably going to be like 1 billion bells, and they're like, it's 2,700, but then you think something's going to be cheap, and they're like, this is 2 million, and you're like, but I wanted the throne. And they have a throne that's actually like 9 million bells. So I don't know why it's bells, but it does seem like it's just an artificial way for them to arbitrarily just whatever, like, place. I don't know. It's sure not teaching kids about the economy, though.
No. The turnips up maybe, but not this one.
Yeah, not the value of $1 anyway.
I'll tell you what,
Or
every
a bell.
every bell is well spent on the retro games that you can put in your house.
I love getting the consoles.
Yeah, I love getting all like the little NES games. At least back in like the original Nintendo GameCube version.
Oh, they on the Switch one, you can turn in your, or am I thinking of I don't know, one of them you can turn in your fortune and it gives you a Nintendo item. And so I just have a Nintendo room in my house. And now they have a whole section where you can get like Mario stuff, and you can create whole ass Mario levels in your island, and it's really cool. But they would have like the Samus suit and the helmet and Pikmin and all kinds of cool stuff.
Fuck yeah.
There's one other one I know I need to talk about because there is the Discworld series, which is hilarious because the economy system actually has regular cash like we know and love, but nobody trusts it. However, the postal service there trades stamps, and they keep this because of how well efficient the postal service is there. The stamps get used by the Thieves Guild, and as long as the Thieves Guild is still working with stamps, everyone believes in stamps. And then stamps becomes the new currency because of how all of that works out. And I think it goes through like 7 different books explaining that like over and over again in the Discworld series.
Huh.
Speaking of make-believe and belief, the orcs in Warhammer 40k use their teeth, which they call teefs. And what ends up happening is that they're a finite currency, right? Because each orc only has so many teeth. They will use them as currency, but they biodegrade. So it stops people from like hoarding them, basically.
That kind of reminds me of in the Fallout show when that one dentist will pay you bottle caps for your teeth, which I know that bottle caps are the currency, but that kind of makes teeth a bit of currency.
Mm.
Unless we're making teeth on the same as like trading cards, where I'll give you money for trading cards. Trading cards are currency.
Orcs are the only ones that use teeth, right? Like, that's it.
Correct. Yep, it's just them. No one else uses teeth that I'm aware of, at least. And the Imperium has like currency and credit and stuff. I think Space Marines are paid in like equipment, if memory serves.
Yeah, you get the stuff that you need to be a Space Marine.
Yeah,
it's all on loan.
Oh, one that was interesting actually was Minecraft, because Minecraft eventually introduced emeralds as its actual currency, but just seeing like the kind of items that players would use as currency because of their rarity, like cookies and apples, and then it was patched to where you could grow those, and so then they would use like slime balls. So, and you still see that in like some servers, and stuff. They'll have their own currency systems. So that's an example, like I guess, of just like players coming together to figure out a currency based on scarcity.
And I think that makes sense, especially if there's a scarcity for it.
Yeah.
I need to give you X thing, but I don't want to give this up. All right, what if I give you 1,000 of these candles? Candles are cool, right? I don't know. I kind of need more candles. But yeah, that's currency for you. I think that is all the examples that I have off the top of my head, which we went through kind of a lot in this one.
Yeah, we kind of kept coming up with some just as we were thinking, just like, oh yeah, and this.
There's going to be a point where after this episode's recording, I'm going to be in the middle of the night going, oh, wait. Where was I with that one?
Dude, there's always things in my episodes I'm like, why did I not talk about that? Like,
yeah.
Oh, and then there's like, I remember I proposed this question for it. I'm like, I need something that you would trade for a currency, and this was years ago. I go, I need something that you would trade for currency, but it wouldn't be money. Money. It's like, and everyone asked me, like, who? What? Like money? Yeah, like zeny? What? No. Oh, lucre? What? No. Okay, that's on me. I have misexplained this question. Everyone's giving me every name for it. That's not this. I set the bar too low.
It does keep coming up. As I was doing research for this, my brain was like, Wulong. No, that's currency. Double dollars. Nope, still currency.
Mm.
I have sort of, and no, I think it counts. I hesitate to bring up Piers Anthony because he's turned out to be kind of a garbage human being. But in one of the Xanth novels, A Spell for Chameleon, I think it was A Spell for Chameleon. It might have been the book afterwards. Somebody makes the joke, well, money doesn't grow on trees, but they literally use leaves as currency.
They're not even the only one that uses leaves as currency. There's another group that uses leaves as currency. Buffy the Vampire Slayer has little kittens for demons. That's what they trade for currency, but only kittens. Once they grow up, they're just cats.
You're too old, Phoenix.
Yeah, you tell her, okay, too old.
I mean, that doesn't mean that they get rid of them. It just means they don't trade in them.
Yeah, that's just it. As far as I know, they keep all the cats.
As a person who had 7 kittens in his house last year, I get it.
That's true. They might have given them to like a sanctuary or found better homes for them.
I mean, technically, Mad Max uses gas most of the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
Or
what's the currency in Waterworld?
I think Mad Max is.
It's either
Mad
dirt
Max
or
is
paper.
another that's like.
This.
I think Mad Max is another one of those that would be like a barter system, because Max deals in gasoline because he values being on the move. But for like in Bartertown, it's literally called Bartertown in the third one, which is not the best. Like they barter. That's what they literally
in Bartertown.
In Bartertown,
I don't know.
And to a certain degree, entertainment could be considered a form of currency in Bartertown, because if you enter the Thunderdome and you win, like you get whatever you want. I mean, if you get to meet Tina Turner, right, which is also pretty cool.
That's whatever anyone wants, let's be honest.
Hell yeah.
Waterworld uses chits, which is a currency used for trading goods and services, hydro, clean drinking water, and dirt and soil.
Which makes sense for a water world. Especially if you want, if you grow a single bell pepper, I mean, that's money right there. That's I think the last one on it. I put a note in here for Tiberium, but from the way I saw Tiberium and Command and Conquer, it's mostly just an exchange. Except for with Nod, which they actually use it for like their peoples and their buildings. Like everything has to have Tiberium glued to it. That's just a thing they do. It's not safe.
Oh, doesn't Witcher 3 actually have a regional currencies too? Like there's an exchange rate. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, System Shock. That was the other one I was trying to think of. System Shock. You got paid in nanites specifically for that. And what you would do is that once you got so many nanites, you could just go to stores and trade nanites, and the nanites that you traded were used to build whatever the thing that you wanted. So if you wanted the cool box, you could get the nanites for that. But you also needed the nanites to hack things.
I guess that's kind of like Destiny, because Destiny uses programmable matter, Glimmer.
Would make sense on that, because basically the nanites are the currency, because I need these to make that. That's my exchange rate. Whatever that is, I need these. How many of these chips that I need for this?
I should finish the System Shock remake. Or was it System Shock 2, the one that I got?
No, you got System Shock remake. System Shock is a difficult game to play because it's physically difficult to play. There's like 100 buttons in that thing.
It's a good game. Leo gets paid in entertainment via me screaming or not paying attention, and him being like, person to your left, and me going, what?
Who? Hello? Where'd he come from? Your left. I've been telling you this like 16 times.
I just wanted to loot the body, okay?
Yeah, but I said, Liz, don't loot the body. There's a guy to your left. I'm not saying that as it's a shock value. I'm saying I had enough time to say that entire sentence with time to spare, and then she got snuck up on it. They hit him in the back of the head. She's like, how did this happen? This came out of nowhere.
I knew how it happened.
But yeah, unless there's some other currencies that you can randomly think of, because it'll pop in your head. It just will. From different storylines. But it's funner when it's a storyline because it builds up that world. That's sort of the crux.
Yeah. One that was interesting, again, not a video game, but Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, they trade years of service.
Yeah.
Oh.
On the Flying Dutchman. That was cool.
Oh, speaking of, My Name is Earl then. And My Name is Earl, for like part of the one of the seasons, I think it's season 3, he trades a lot of his services to help out the warden and to help out this prison on time served. So like he would just give him like, you get 1 week off if you do this, and he ended up working it out to the point where he did like less than a third of his sentence by cleaning up the entirety of the prison. But yeah. That's the only other one I could think of off the top of my head on that.
Pogs on the schoolyard.
Shoot, yeah.
Ooh, true.
Only 90s kids remember.
If you were a 90s kid and you had Pogs, you were in.
Do you mean born in the 90s or raised in the 90s?
What did I just say? 90s kid.
I didn't specify.
Yes to all. Yeah, that's about it. That's what I got. Anything else before we end this episode?
Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to be on. And if any of you want a guest spot on Collateral Gaming, definitely would be happy to be in touch. We're looking for more guests, in fact, to take over. But I mean, you could find Collateral Gaming wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all the social media apps. And pretty soon here, we should be doing our season premiere on Fallout 4. So that'll be our next major episode coming up. And then we'll be getting into Spooky Month. So we're covering Chronos: The New Dawn, Silent Hill F, 2 new horror games, Resident Evil Code Veronica for our Halloween special.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of, if everything goes right, you'll be back with us with our Halloween special on slasher films. That's going to be a fun.
Ooh.
Ashley, I promise I don't derail as often as I did today. Just not feeling great. Please still want me on your podcast.
No. Okay, so going off on tangents and derailing, that is literally part of our brand. That is what we do.
Okay.
Like
That's the jam. All right.
that is the jam.
With that,
I'll be perfect then.
Hell yeah. You'll fit right in.
Hi everyone, this is Leo, the Geek Scorpio. Just wanted to make an insert here to let everybody know that our next episode will be available on October 17th, right in time for spooky season. And we hope to see you there. And with that being said, let's get back to the show. With that being said, this is Gaming Theater Podcast, logging out. Bye everybody!
Bye.
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 Gaming Theater Podcast is hosted, created, produced, and edited by Leo Garcia, the Geek Scorpio. Our music is A Drinking Game. Stock media provided by Stormwave Audio /Pond5. Our cover art is by Adam Parker. You can find him at ParkerGFX on Twitter. If you want to send us some money to help with these episodes, you can do so at patreon.com/gamingtheaterpresents. Want to send support that doesn't hit your wallet? Please leave a review with wherever you hear your podcasts and share our podcast with your friends. It really helps out. Thank you for listening.